their lives, someone they had nothing in common with personally, but who they felt that was really working for them, and was working for their environment and for their families and for their children's college education and for their family over in Iraq. So it was pretty amazing, and I was inspired to meet them and to see the work they were already doing. And since then, I have been so proud to be an American because of what I saw in the organization of Iowa and of Louisiana, which is where I also went, and especially here in New Hampshire, where I'm just amazed at the organizing going on. So I really feel that, you know, any little thing you can do helps. I wish I could vote here. I wish I went to school here, and then I could vote here. Because it's amazing. I mean, you know, in 2000, Gore lost New Hampshire by 7,000 votes. So you know your power. And if you can get all your friends and people in the surrounding areas and the locals around here to vote, you're really empowering them, and you're making yourselves heard. And it's amazing. It's amazing what we can do with such a simple action. So, of course, you can register up until the 25th, and you can register on Election Day, but don't wait that long. There will be lines. The lines won't be that bad. Still go. And, yeah, I'll turn it over to Justin. I just wanted to thank you so much. It's really an honor to be here. It's an honor to meet all of you guys. I hope I get to talk to you all individually. And thank you very much for all you're doing.
Olivia kind of said it all, and to reiterate, it's an honor to be here and to get to talk to you guys, and all of whom are far more articulate and smarter than I am. And you're also, not to sound cliche and trite, but you know, you represent obviously the future, and I think this election for me, it's the first time that I've really found myself getting actively political. And it was motivated more out of fear, I think, than anything else. I've spent the last 8 years griping about the administration and sort of mired in this negative apathy, and this was the first time I just felt the need to do something. And so we're here just registering voters and trying to get the word out, and specifically in New Hampshire, I had no idea how important a state this was. I guess in 2000, Al Gore lost by 7,000 points, 7,000 votes, and that ended up determining the outcome of the election. So and then the last two elections, I just lost by one point. So it's huge. And for anyone who says the youth vote doesn't matter, well, you know, they're just wrong. And so we were encouraging people to get out and stuff, and beyond the vote for whomever. Do you mind if I borrow this?
Go for it.
I'm undecided. I don't quite know as of yet who I'm voting for. We can't tell you who to vote for. Just encourage you to support whoever it may be. And let's try to change. I know that's the word that keeps getting thrown around, but there is a lot of gravity in that word, and it speaks volumes, given the climate of the world and of our own economy. And let's do it. Let's get out and change and make other generations become better. And thank you all for your work and everything you're doing. And it's really cool to be here and be able to get up and stumble through sort of a weird half speech in front of you. Thank you. For an actual speech, this is Kal Penn. You know him. You certainly love him. You may not know him.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Did you guys actually all... There it is.
Oh, thanks. My number. Anyway, there's Olivia Wilde. Let's give her a hand. It's great to be here. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you gotta turn it on. I was gonna ask you, I mean, did you guys all actually get up before noon on a Sunday? That's ridiculous. And very impressive. I like that. I like seeing that. We've been meeting a lot of volunteers all over the state, and certainly all over the country, who are under 25, most of whom are in college or college age, and since there are only 23 days left until the election. A lot of them are making the types of social sacrifices that hopefully you made today. Olivia really kind of outlined how we got started volunteering for the Obama campaign. I signed up to volunteer last October, so about a year ago. And I filled out something that you probably all filled out also, if you've volunteered so far, a little index card with my name, email address, and phone number, and I said I'd help knock on doors and register voters. But I've never done anything remotely like this before this year. I'm a registered independent. I've admittedly probably voted for as many Democrats as Republicans as third-party candidates, depending on the election year and the type of office. But this year was a little bit different, and my involvement in the Obama campaign goes back about 4 years ago. I was living down in Texas, right outside of Houston, and there was I heard a yes. Are you from somebody from Texas? Yeah, that was audible. I hear everything. I won't put you on the spot anymore. That's a volunteer for us. But I was living outside of Houston, and a buddy of mine, he had just graduated high school. He was 19. He'd been out of school for about a year. He was working this minimum wage job at a trucking company. And he was the guy who was answering phones. He was at the receptionist desk. He would cut up empty boxes, put them in the recycling bin. Really wanted to go to school and couldn't afford college, didn't qualify for financial aid. So this was the job that he had. And he got a phone call one day from a company called Halliburton. Well, laughter. That's good. Okay, so it's cathartic. We're on the cathartic. Halliburton, for those of you who don't know, is Dick Cheney's old company. They're involved in Iraq War reconstruction. And Halliburton called my buddy at work, and they said that they would offer him $90,000 if he agreed to go to Iraq for them to drive a truck for the private sector. And so he called me, and he called a few of our other friends, and he said, what do you guys think I should do? And we talked about it for a long time, and we talked about how that 90 grand, could pay for, maybe not here, but could pay for your entire undergrad education. It could pay for grad school. He could have put a small down payment on an apartment. But the trade-off was pretty extreme. It was a private contracting firm that he was being asked to work for. And so the more we talked about it, the more we came to the conclusion that no matter what he decided to do, ultimately this was a really sad decision. That the world's richest, most powerful country could only offer a buddy of ours two options if you wanted to go to college, either minimum wage or $90,000 in the middle of a war zone. And the cynical side of me that had been a registered independent for so long got even more cynical. I thought, okay, well, this is proof that one vote doesn't make a difference, that we can't really do anything, that federal lobbyists are way too tied into the way that politics work to change anything. And thankfully, 4 weeks after that, I had the television on, I had some friends over, and I was watching the Democratic National Convention. And the keynote started, and this skinny guy with big ears walked on stage and delivered one of the most eloquent speeches I think my friends and I had ever heard. And this one line in particular really got to us when Senator Obama talked about how there shouldn't be blue states or red states. We should focus on being the United States. And we kind of looked at each other. Half my friends are pretty conservative, the other half are fairly progressive. I'm probably somewhere in the middle, depending on the issue. And that concept resonated with us because a lot of us felt like, especially after 9/11, politicians had been so set on dividing us after that between blue state and red state and using fear just to get votes. And here was a guy who actually had the guts to stand up and say that